This week on ICN, the stories you should have heard, but didn't. The national media stumbles all over itself, covering Tea Party protests. Homeland Security puts out a thought crime report. Goldman Sachs, training ground for Washington insiders. Merck puts out a proverbial hit list on critics. Those stories and more, next on Informed Citizen News. Hello, and welcome to ICN, Informed Citizen News, April 19th, 2009. It was an eye-opening week. Over 500,000 people participated in 700 Tea Party protests across America. The tragic part was that the news media made this story about themselves and not the angry taxpayer. According to them, it was a left versus right issue, with Fox and MSNBC trading blows. Most of the left-leaning media used the occasion to show their frat house maturity, while right-leaning Fox embarrassed themselves by jumping on the bandwagon, with pom-poms in hand. The following clips captured the events better than we could ever report.
I think you get the general tenor of this. It's anti-government, anti-CNN, since this is highly promoted by the right-wing conservative network Fox. And since I can't really hear much more, and I think this is not really family viewing, toss it back to you, Kira.
All right, and I know Susan Rosen's having a hard time hearing me, but wow, that is the prime example of what we're following across the country there. Susan pointed out everything plain and clear.
You know what? You know what? You are not talking to regular mainstream people. You picked people to talk to.
That's right. That's right.
I don't have a sign. You're not talking to. You didn't talk to him. He doesn't have a sign.
Why don't you tell me why you're here?
We're here because we are sick and tired of the government taking our money and spending it in ways that we have no say in. We have no say whatsoever. The government is being run by the Federal Reserve Bank, and they are getting all of our money. Our kids' money, our grandkids' money. It's not fair.
What if someone's on camera? Well, your elected officials voted for the stimulus package.
They all need to be heard. They're all Congress. It's not just Democrats. It's not Republicans. It's all of them. All of them. It's Congress. Bush voted for all this. Obama voted for all of it.
Hey, turn the camera over this way.
Absolutely not. And most people who are here do not believe that it's just the Republicans or just the Democrats.
Hey, you want to hear the truth? What?
Self-employed woman. I don't have a group. Oh, it's all over the news. It's everyone. We all do.
Like online.
Oh yeah, it's all over online. What do you think the internet is for? Are you trying to be stupid?
You're a reporter. You know better.
Well, but we didn't watch what you've been doing here, and it's not fair.
ICN also went down to a Tea Party protest, and here's what real people had to say.
Too many taxes, too much government. They've been getting so far into our lives lately, we can't breathe. But we're tired of paying more and more taxes and getting less and less for it. We see the corruption, we see it very clearly. And we want to tell them that.
Well, what brings us down here is our concern for our country. We're tired of having our government waste all of our money and put the tax burden on us, the taxpayer, when they're giving it to groups that don't even deserve it. And every day I wake up, there's more taxes. I'm up to here with taxes. Well, what I would hope to do is to galvanize the people. I don't expect anything from the government, nor will they even pay attention, because they don't even care about us. Our representatives don't even read bills before Congress before they give a tack on an $860 billion surplus to themselves. So I'm hoping that just the people wake up and see that there's other people that are involved with the same mindset.
I'm here because I came from Russia here, immigrated from Russia 19 years ago. And we live through socialism, we know the horror of it. We are horrified horrified what's going on now with Obama, and this country we like so much and we love it, and we don't want the horror of socialism to be repeated here. I hope that more people will be aware of what's going on, because unfortunately a lot of people in the United States, from my observation, not they don't care, they just are not involved. I would like more people to be involved. It's very, very important for the future of this country. Actually, the best country in the world.
People we interviewed expressed an overriding concern for the direction of the country and the feeling that government isn't listening. The national media took the low road in undermining the message hundreds of thousands of protesters were sending to the government. As we said in the beginning, the media made the story about them and not about the protesters. Leave it to the national news to fail to meet even our lowest expectations. This week, a report leaked out of the Dept of Homeland Security that listed disgruntled military vets as potential recruits for so-called right-wing extremism. Several points are of concern about this report. First, the report questions the integrity of our returning war vets. Next, you're considered a right-wing extremist if you're concerned about ballooning national debt, illegal immigration, increasing federal power, growing restrictions on firearms, and abortion. In other words, if you're knowledgeable and are passionate about your beliefs, you better look over your shoulder. Although most were angered about the slight against our military, the most concerning is the potential for criminalizing thought. If you hold certain beliefs, the government is going to keep an eye on you because you may be a threat. Elected officials take an oath to uphold the Constitution. How about we start having elected officials pass a test to see if they've actually read it? Goldman Sachs typifies the problems with the incestuous relationships between Wall Street and Washington. As we all know, former Treasury Secretary Henry Paulson was CEO of Goldman Sachs. While Mr. Paulson was Treasury Secretary, he selected Edward Liddy from Goldman's board of directors to be the new AIG CEO. By the way, Liddy was Don Rumsfeld's CFO while they were at Sterling Company. Other Goldman hired guns in Washington include Josh Bolten, who was Bush's chief of staff; Neil Kashkari, headed the Office of Financial Stability under Bush and Obama; Robert Rubin, Clinton's Treasury Secretary; John Corzine, former U.S. Senator and now Governor of New Jersey; Gary Gensler, Assistant Treasury Secretary under Clinton. It's no wonder that Wall Street and Goldman Sachs are treated as if Americans exist to benefit them. Goldman Sachs just reported profits of $1.8 billion in the first quarter of 2009. They were profitable because they shifted their reporting year from November to January, effectively skipping December for reporting purposes. It just so happens that they lost $2.8 billion in December, but didn't have to include those losses in their recent report. Wouldn't that be great if we could do that on our taxes? Senators Rockefeller and Snowe have introduced a bill to establish the Office of the National Cybersecurity Advisor, an arm of the executive branch that would have vast power to monitor and control internet traffic, to protect against threats to critical cyber infrastructure. That broad power is rattling some civil libertarians. The Cybersecurity Act of 2009 gives the president the ability to declare a cybersecurity emergency and shut down or limit internet traffic in any critical information network in the interest of national security. The bill does not define a critical information network or a cybersecurity emergency. That definition would be left to the president. How do you feel about one person having control over the internet? Merck & Company was found to have put out a hit list of doctors who had to be neutralized or discredited because they criticized the anti-arthritis drug the pharmaceutical giant produced. Merck staff emailed each other lists of doctors who had been negative about their drug Vioxx. Critical doctors were to be discredited. For companies who are involved in such activities, there can be no punishment harsh enough. Thank you for joining ICN this week. Americans need to be informed, so please send our link to your friends and family. From all of us at Informed Citizen News, we'll see you next week.